All right, so here is our monthly real estate market update. We're going to go over all of the latest stats for the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee, California. Let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I'm a realtor and team leader with the Short Real Estate team here at Keller Williams in Temecula, California. And this video is our monthly staple. This is our real estate market update. We're going to go over all the latest real estate stats here for the cities of Temecula, Murrieta, and Menifee, California. And then we're going to compare the market today and the stats today versus what we were seeing a year ago. So before we get into all the information, if you are liking real estate videos like this, please do me a favor. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. Obviously, it helps me. Obviously, it helps my channel as we try to continue to grow it. And we have a ton of other real estate videos. We put them up each and every week. So if you want to subscribe, you can keep an eye out for those. And then if you guys have any real estate questions, you can feel free to reach out anytime. So you're gonna see my information either at the end of the video or down below. You're gonna see my cell phone. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, or you can email me. You know, happy to answer any questions you may have, help point you in the right direction. Or of course, if I can help you out with your real estate search, I'd love to do that. That's how I earn a living. So would love to help you out with that. All right, so we're gonna start with some stats. First thing, we are gonna start with the city of Temecula, and we're gonna talk about the total number of new listings. So a year ago, so this would be September 2024, in the city of Temecula, we saw a total of 153 new listings popping up on the market. And then a year later, so over the last 30 days now, we've seen a total of 136 new listings pop up on the market. So we are definitely seeing less listings this year as opposed to last year. It's 11% decrease in the total number of new listings coming up on the market. City of Murrieta, you're kind of seeing the same trend. So a year ago, so September 2024, we saw a total of 186 new listings coming up on the market. This year, we're down to 167, so about 20 less homes popping up for sale. That's a 10% decrease. And then City of Menifee, a year ago, we saw a total of 217 of new listings come up on the market. And this year, we're down to 171. So that's a bigger change. That's getting close to 50 less listings coming up on the market this year as opposed to last year. And that is a 21% change. All right, so that takes us to our next stat that we're going to talk about, and that's the total number of active listings. And basically this is just, hey, if I'm a buyer, if I want to buy a home in a given city, say the city of Temecula, how many homes are out there for me to choose from, right? And we just saw that there's less new listings coming up on the market today, but you're going to see in all three of the cities, there's actually significantly more homes still for sale this year compared to last year. So even though there's less inventory coming, more homes are sitting, and you're seeing more and more homes out there to choose from because the homes that have been listed over the last 2, 3, 6 months, have sat a little bit more. So in the city of Temecula, so a year ago, September 2024, there was a total of 351 available homes to choose from. And then right now in Temecula, we're up to 479 available homes to choose from. That's a pretty big increase. It's a 37% increase. I mean, that's almost 130 more homes this year compared to last year. That's definitely substantial. City of Murrieta, kind of seeing the same thing. A year ago in Murrieta, there's a total of 422 available homes to choose from. And this year, we're up to 489 homes. So that's a 16% increase. City of Menifee, a year ago, we were at a total of 405 homes. And this year we're up to 494. So that's a 22% increase. Again, you're almost 90 more homes to choose from this year as opposed to last year. So that's definitely pretty significant. I think this is now like the 4th month in a row that we've seen the same thing, where new listings are actually down, but total available listings, inventory is just sitting, and there's more available listings this year compared to last year. All right, so the next stat we're going to talk about is the average days on market in each city. So this is really just, hey, how long is the average home taking to sell, right? If I put my home up for sale, is it going to sell super fast? Is it going to take months and months to sell? The shorter timeline lends itself to more of a seller's market, and a longer timeline lends itself to more of a buyer's market, right? So city of Temecula, so a year ago, the average home was selling in 25 days. And then now, 2025, we were up to 33 days as your your average home in Temecula. So that's a 32% increase. So which is, it is significant, but really the average home is still selling in just about a month, right? So that's not super drastic. That's not a big change. Really, we don't start considering things to be closer to a buyer's market until the 90-day mark. But it's an interesting market, right? I mean, the homes are taking longer to sell. There's more inventory sitting there, but they're not taking substantially longer. They're not taking as long as I would think, and I think most buyers would think, with how much things are piling up on the inventory side. So, city of Murrieta and Menifee, you're going to see the same trends. So, a year ago in Murrieta, the average home was selling in 25 days as well. We are now up to an average of 42 days. So that's a 68% increase. I mean, that's significant, right? I mean, that's multiple weeks longer, right? But still, it's not even 2 months for the average home to sell. So that's not terribly long or terribly slow at all. City of Menifee, a year ago, the average home was selling in 34 days, and now we are up to 47 days. So that's a 38% increase. So, across the board, your market is slowing, homes are taking longer to sell, but it's not as drastic as what I would have thought, based on, this is now, like I said, like the 4th month that we're seeing a slowdown and how much inventory is piling up. It's just not as big of a change here as I would think. All right, so the last stat we're going to talk about is the average sales price. And really, I guess I'll give you the answer here, and I'll give you the specifics in just a minute. But across the board, the average sales price is pretty much flat across all 3 cities. And really, I think that is surprising based on how much inventory is starting to pile up. Again, homes are taking a little bit longer to sell, just not super drastically longer. But you would think that you start to see the sales price really start to dwindle. But we've seen pricing hold pretty steady over the last handful of months. We are seeing more price reductions on the listings that are out there. So as homes aren't selling, you're seeing price cut. I think a lot of them probably started just too high in the price point. But again, I would think that we would see a larger percentage down of average sales price than we are. So really, we're seeing about a flat line, and with how things have felt over the last few months, I thought we'd see a little bit lower. So I think this is pretty encouraging if you're a seller, not as exciting if you're a buyer, I guess. So city of Temecula, the average sales price a year ago was $832,000, and this year we are up $5,000 to an average of $837,000. So that's just less than a 1% increase. More or less, really about a flat line for your average sales price in Temecula. City Murrieta, same thing. So a year ago, the average home was selling for $698,000. And this year, the average home is selling for $698,000. So that's no change there. Really steady line across the board. And then city of Menifee, a year ago, the average home was selling for $577,000. This year, we are down to $562,000. So that is probably the most substantial change. That is a $15,000 difference in Menifee for your average sales price. It's 3% difference. We'll kind of see how that trends over the next few months. But again, market has definitely been slowing over the last few months. We're seeing less transactions. We're seeing more homes sitting. We are seeing more price reductions, but average sales prices are very steady. Homes are taking a little bit longer to sell, but inventory is piling up. So I hope that's good information for you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. You can call, you can text, you can email, and hopefully I will talk to you soon. Thanks.